You're a great champion. There's been so many great champions in the middleweight division. What are your thoughts about Israel as a champ? He's really made a name for himself and is really a young star in the division that has a lot of great challenges coming up. And eventually, obviously, this John Jones fight that a lot of people are sort of talking about.
Yeah, well, first off, he's outstanding. He's great. He's undefeated, which is very, very marketable. He looks good. He talks good. He fights good. I mean, the guy's a superstar. He's got all the qualities that the UFC are looking for in a superstar. And he fights great. Okay, the last fight against Yoel, nobody wants to rewatch that one again. But that's the way it goes. No, listen. You can't deny it was a shitty fight. Doesn't mean he's a shit fighter. Because he's not a shit fighter. He's outstanding. He's the world champion for a reason. But, now and again, that's just stylistically. Sometimes that happens. Yoel's he's a serious knockout artist. He has a lot of power and obviously has the wrestling pedigree. So, you got to be careful. And it takes two to tango. So they were both as bad as each other. It was a shitty fight. It is what it is. He got the decision. Forget about that. That's in the past. It's all history. But, no, he's outstanding. He's going to have a bright future. He's still young. And I like what he's doing with John Jones. I like what he's doing. I don't know if that fight will ever happen. It probably won't. Not anytime soon. I think John's talking about going up to heavyweight, so obviously that would put a barrier between that. But I like it. I certainly like seeing Israel talk shit about John Jones. It is funny. I do sit there in the morning eating my cornflakes and get a little chuckle out of it. So, yeah. No, he's great. He's great. I'm a big fan.
I was going to say, if that fight ever happened, is it a matchup that sort of interests you? Israel's spoken to us that he would happily go to heavyweight to sort of fight John Jones, even at that weight class.
Yeah. Sorry, what was the question? I had something in the background that something went on. So, what was the question? How do I see the fight going down with John Jones? And listen, on the feet, they'd match up pretty well, to be honest. I can't see why Israel wouldn't have at least an equal footing or potentially an advantage. Jones isn't, we saw in his last few fights, he's not invincible. He's not superhuman. He is beatable. Everybody's beatable, trust me. And John, the longer he does it, the longer he goes. It's kind of a game of odds. At some point, somebody's going to beat him, and it seems to be happening more and more. I mean, the fight against Dominic Reyes, and I'm not trying to dump on John Jones, but I feel that Reyes won that fight. The one before it, Thiago Santos, that was a close fight. And Thiago Santos had a bloody blown ACL from round one. Fight before that, Anthony Smith. So, John isn't unbeatable. John's not unbeatable. And Adesanya is also undefeated. They're both pretty much undefeated in my eyes. It's a great fight. I'd love to see it one day. But I'm not sure if I could see Israel at heavyweight. That's why I kind of laughed there, because he's a small, not small. He's certainly not short. He's very tall, but he's a light middleweight at the end of the day. So at heavyweight, he's going to have a big disadvantage there.